postgraduate diploma in intellectual property rights and PGCR. So he is a result-oriented pharma professionals with almost 18 years of experience in various fields of pharma and regulatory affairs. He's guided many PG and PhD students. So he's an editor of a regulatory Samvad, a monthly publication of ARAP. He's currently working as a head regulatory affairs Anthem Bioscience Private Limited, Bangalore. He's having a strong knowledge of regulatory submissions to CDSCO, US FDA, and EMEA. Dr. Puranik is having a various memberships like life membership of APTI, life membership of a Inpharma Association, and he is a voting member of the RAPS USA. Dr. Puranik has published more than 100 publications in national and international journals. And Dr. Puranik has been a great inspiration and a mentor to many people. So I would like to request Dr. Puranik, please give your opening remarks for the today's webinar. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Over to you, sir. Please unmute your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pawan. Welcome to all the participants. It is pleasure to start webinar series in collaboration with IPA State Branch, Delhi. Our vision, ARAP, Association of Regulatory Affairs Professionals, it is to help promote, safeguard, and strengthen the values of healthcare industry in respect of utmost transparency and support of regulatory framework. To improve and strengthen the trust in regulatory bodies by timely and useful access to the relevant healthcare and safety information to all the stakeholders and general public. The association is established in 2016 as a national level professional and non-profit society and registered in the Society Act. Our memberships are largely from the industrial sector, who is having vast experience in industries. In fact, they are all, few of our members have been experienced in CDSU, Delhi. ARAP is a professional organization, people involved in regulatory affairs that supports the members to achieve the highest standards through the training and participates on active and constructive way of the policy making with the pharmaceutical sectors. And we are also involved in making the policy and regulations along with the government of India in drugs, medical devices, cosmetics, and FSA regulations. The ARAP came into existence as a result of united front of different employees of various organizations working in regulatory department pertaining to healthcare products. Recently, ARAP has been nominated as a civil society organization member in steering committee, Apex committee of Clinical Development Services Agency. Our team members have been nominated and attended the first steering committee meeting. ARAP has issued a monthly e-bulletin in the name of Regulatory Samvad, which provide the collective information to all the members and industry stakeholders on the recent changes in the Drug and Cosmetic Act, rules, new orders, circulars, and guidelines. ARAP is actively involved in finalizing the cosmetic regulations, draft cosmetic regulations in the recent past. Last year, we have been collaborated with TOPRA London and organized an international conference in November 14 and 15 in New Delhi. And this is how we have started. We have collaborated with IPA and we have started the webinar series. Welcome to all the members and wishing good luck and organizing team and the webinar and speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And now I request Dr. Mir to start the session.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Dr. Neeraj.
Yeah. Thank you, Punik sir, and thank you for your words for the inauguration meeting. So here Myself is Dr. Neeraj, and here I represent both ARAP as well as the Indian Pharmaceutical Association Delhi branch. First of all, I welcome all attendees today on the day of yoga, and this is also our first webinar in which we are collaborating. IPA Delhi branch and ARAP started this webinar to educate the industrial person and other persons as well. So here I invite our president, IPA Delhi branch, Dr. Kallan Bajaj, uh, and for give you an opening remark. Mr. Kallan Bajaj is an editor and publisher of the Indian Pharmacist, a bi-monthly publication of the pharmaceutical industry, which focus on the trade and uh, profession for past 18 years. He completed his bachelor in pharmacy from the College of Pharmacy, Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, from Belgaum, Karnataka, 1993. He has been associated with Indian Pharmaceutical Association Delhi State Branch for the past 13 years in various capacities, right from the beginning of council member, honorary secretary, to the vice president of the Delhi State Branch. Currently, he is a president of IPA Delhi State Branch for the term 2020-22. He is on the editorial board of the Pharma Times, a monthly publication of IPA, the Pharmaceutical Association, and a member of Central Executive Council of IPS Center in Mumbai. He has received various awards in his professional capacity, the latest being in the Best Performer Award given by IPA Delhi State Branch in year 2017 for his outstanding contribution, highlighting the activity of association among the media and public at large. He is also a life member of IPA and IPGA. So here I over to our IPA President Kalyan Bajaj.
You, Dr.
Over to
Neeraj.
you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Neeraj, for giving a brief introduction of mine. Uh, Good afternoon to all. Dr. Sangamesh Puranik, President of Association of Regulatory Affairs Professionals. Dr. Mohd Amin Mir, Director, Venus Medicine Research Center, and Chairman, Clinical Research Committee of Association of Regulatory Affairs Professionals. Dr. Neeraj Kumar, Honorary Secretary, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Delhi State Branch. Dr. Pavan, Governing Member of ARAP India, and ladies and gentlemen who are watching this virtual seminar. On behalf of IPA Delhi State Branch, I welcome all of you on this webinar on recent developments in COVID-19. Lots of research is ongoing to find the right vaccine for the masses. Hopefully, Dr. Mir will shed more light where does the world stand today in finding the right portion of this dreaded disease so that we are relieved from this nightmare and resume our lives as was at the starting of this decade. Before ending my talk, I will just give a brief introduction of IPA for the viewers. So in case somebody would like to join our association, we would be really happy to assist you in this regard. The Indian Pharmaceutical Association, in short we call it IPA, is the oldest premier association of pharmaceutical professionals in India with a member base of over 16,000 spread across the length and breadth of the nation. IPA operates in India through 20 state branches and 46 local branches. The headquarters of IPA is at Kalina, Santa Cruz, East Mumbai. The members represent various facets of pharmaceutical profession with industry, regulatory, community and hospital pharmacy practices and education. As a member of the Drug Technical Advisory Board, DTAB India, the IPA is actively involved in advising the government on matters of professional importance. IPA is affiliated with international pharma associations like FIP, FAPA, CPA, AAPS, and AAIPS, and is working with international bodies such as WHO and WHPA for carrying out various collaborative professional activities that include organizing training programs for professionals from industry, academics, regulatory, and practice. IPA makes representations to the authorities on matters of professional interest and works constantly towards upgrading the standards of pharmacy professional services offered by the pharmacists. IPA's major objective is to position pharmacists as one of the important healthcare providers in our country. IPA has 5 divisions, namely Industrial Pharmacy Division, Regulatory Affairs Division, Community Pharmacy Division, Education Division, and Hospital Pharmacy Division. IPA, along with its branches, also celebrates National Pharmacy Week every year during the third week of November. The major focus of this event is to create awareness among the public and other healthcare providers about the NPW theme and about the role of pharmacists in healthcare settings. IPA also conducts national elocution competition for pharmacy students. We also have a students forum which is called IPSF. This is a national forum of pharmacy students formed on August 16, 2008 at Mumbai in the presence of former President of India, His Excellency Dr. ABJ Abdul Kalam. The IPASF has grown to greater heights and achieved many milestones at both national and international levels. IPASF organizes Students' Congress every year with an aim to bring all the pharmacy students under one umbrella so that their energies can be synergized to make a difference and enabling them to become further leaders of the profession, abiding highest ethical and professional standards. One of the most vibrant state branch of IPA is our branch, that is the Delhi State branch, which is having more than 500 members, representing a wide spectrum of the pharma fraternity. The IPA Delhi State branch has been given the Special Recognition Award 2011 and Outstanding State Branch Awards for 2018 and 19 for the excellent performance and contribution in meeting the objectives of the association. Also, the Delhi branch has established a first of the kind pre-pharmacy club school club within the country in the year 2010. On the other hand, IPA Delhi State Branch also established 5 forums with Regulatory Forum, Industrial Forum, Academic Forum, Student Forum, and Community and Hospital Forum in 2018 to give more platform to all the divisions of the pharmaceutical profession with the aim of organizing professional and educational programs to promote good pharmacy practice and strengthen the pharmacy workforce in the National Capital Region of Delhi. The IPA Delhi State Branch has signed various memorandum of understandings with different organizations like Delhi Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University, DIPSARU Innovation and Incubation Foundation, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, NIPA, SAS Nagar, Mohali, Punjab, School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, SPR, Jamia Ahmedabad, New Delhi, and BS Anandpuria Institute of Pharmacy, Faridabad, among others, to conduct workshops in pharma and healthcare, special short-term professional programs, and other cooperative efforts set forth in separate implementing agreements. IPA Delhi State Branch also provides career guidance to pharmacy students through its PACE, that is Proficient Advice on Career and Education Program. IPA Delhi State Branch also has a students wing under its fold to not only percolate the activities of the branch among the student fraternity in all the pharmacy colleges of the NCR of Delhi, but also highlight the common issues being faced by the student community in front of the association for a speedy resolution. Currently, last but not the least, currently IP Delhi State Branch has a new council in place for the term 2020-22, which just got elected in April 2020. This new council has around 20 members presently who represent different spheres of the pharmacy profession and have come together to uplift the standards of the pharmaceutical community. I once again thank all of you for sparing your valuable time and joining us in this webinar, which is the most relevant in current times. Please remain vigilant and stay healthy. And happy Yoga Day to all. Let's overcome this crisis together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kalan sir, for your brief opening remarks. Now we are moving towards the actual webinar topic. Before we start, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Mir. So, Dr. Mir is a director of Venus Medicine Research Center and chairman for Clinical Research Committee of ARAP. So Dr. Mir is postgraduated in clinical research and surgery with around 14 years of experience in research and development and around 5 years of experience in clinical field. He has rich experience in driving and guiding a team to bring a research molecule from laboratory shelf to a pharmacy shelf in shortest possible duration. For the last half decade, Dr. Mir is handling clinical research division of Venus Remedies Private Limited and primarily involved in guiding and assisting team in key activities related to drug development, that is preclinical, clinical, and post-marketing, particularly in clinical operations, medical writing, medical affairs, and pharmacovigilance. Previously, Dr. Mee was associated with a Fortis Clinical Research Limited and was primarily involved in a clinical operations, medical writing, regulatory affairs, project management, and quality control of BA/BE studies. So Dr. Mir has published 11 publications in national and international journal and has been honored with a Young Scientist Award at JC On 2019. So
Neeraj,
we are lucky to have you, sir, for today's webinar.
ठीक है मैं screen share
Right. So I request to Dr. Mir, sir, to start with webinar. Hello, Dr. Mir. Are you able to share screen? Neeraj sir, please unmute Dr. Mir. Neeraj sir. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Welcome,
I'm
sir.
sharing my. Just hold on. I will first share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Neeraj.
Yeah, I think. Dr. Neeraj, please stop sharing your
Yeah.
screen. Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not doing well today because I'm a little bit not well today. But I will try to my best to do the justice with this webinar today. In case if I miss something or something like that, I'm sorry for that. And as we have started this initiative that we will keep on doing the different episodes on this webinar series. The basic objective of this webinar series as conveyed to me was that we will keep track on the development of what is happening in the COVID. Luckily, last week I come across few of the good publication where there is a great insight about this COVID-19. That's why I try to focus my presentation on those publications. I think it will be quite interesting for everybody so that we know what actually this disease is. If you see, this is the structure of this virus. If you see this electron microscope structure, Neeraj, can you do one thing? Can we hide these names and all that? Is it possible from your end?
I will give you a host right, and you can do at your end.
Okay, because these names are a little bit hiding. Just hold on. I think now it is okay. Okay. Yeah, if you see the structure of this virus, and here I want to highlight this here. This is S spike, which is known as S protein. which is very important one because this is the protein, this spike get attached with the AC2 receptor of the lung cells. And there are other proteins like M protein, N protein, and there is E protein. And in addition to that, these three proteins get inside the cell along with this RNA of this virus. And if we know, everybody is promoting that wash your hand with soap water because the reason being this lipid bilayer is lipid layer so that when we wash the hand with the soap, it get distorted. If we see this virus, if we compare this virus with the other viruses which have really disturbed us in the past, if you see over here, this virus has a long structure. It is almost about 30,000 nucleotides out there. That means we can say that this virus has a lot of genetic material. It can manufacture, reproduce different type of proteins. It has large structure. That is why it may be a challenge to get resolution for this virus. In addition to that, in this virus, there are some accessory genes which still virologists are unaware what is the role of these accessory genes. If we see, everybody knows that as of now, the portal of entry for this virus is supposed to be by nose or by mouth. And once it enters inside the body, then let us see what is the different phase of development. First step is once it reaches to the lung, it get attached to the AC2. And once it get attached to the AC2 receptor, it enters inside the lung cells. The presumed time duration as of now is supposed to be, this takes around 10 minutes. If we see in this figure, this is here if you see this is the SARS, this virus, and this is this spike, S protein. When this is the lung cell, when this get attached with this AC2 receptor protein, here is one enzyme, that is protease enzyme, which cuts down this spike part. Once this part is cut by this protease enzyme, here left is the stem. If you see in the next slide here, when this stem is removed, these functionary machinery, these spikes get released. Oh, sorry, I have to go back. These extend their cells and get attached to the, cell of the lung cell. Once it gets attached to the lung cell, it brings virus and lung cell close to each other. Once these two fuses together, this viral material, that is the RNA, N protein, M protein, all this stuff get inside the cell. Once it is inside the cell, what happens next? Next is it starts replicating inside the lung cell using the machinery of the lung cell. And once it makes multiple copies of itself, it finally comes out of lung cell. And it is supposed to be, as of now, the data available is this activity is usually about 10 hours. If you see in this, for example, here, when this RNA gets inside the lung cell, it utilizes the ribosomes of the lung cell, and when this RNA gets attached to the ribosome, it starts developing the virus proteins. In addition to that, it utilizes the endoplasmic reticulum. where different vesicles are formed of this virus. If we see the next step, when these different vesicles are formed, it additionally uses Golgi apparatus of the cell. In this fashion, it uses cell machinery, and there are multiple vesicles which contains these virus particles. Once these virus particles reach to the cell or fully formed, they burst out outside the cell. As it utilizes the cell machinery, that means that cell either die because of this or the body's immune system destroyed that cell. Once these newly formed viruses are outside, body immune system get in action. Either it is an innate immunity, as we all know, that means macrophages, because of these viral particles, there is a release of interferons, and because of these interferons, macrophages are activated, and they come to attack these infected cells. And it is supposed to be that this type of activity happens between day 0 to day 10, day 3. In addition to that, there is one more adaptive immunity system. What is an adaptive immunity system? These interferons activate, give the information to B cells and T cells. B cells have information of the antibodies, and those antibodies act on this virus, bind to these spike proteins so that it is not able to attach the lung cell AC2. Additionally, these T cells attack those cells which are already infected. And as for the data right now, it is supposed to be that roughly it will be 6 to 11-day duration for these activities to happen. Now, if we see why this virus is a challenge, it has a different tactics with it. The first tactic is that when an antibody wants to get attached to this spike protein, what this spike protein did, it formed a sugar chain on it so that antibody is unable to bind it. One more thing which is seen, as we see with the other viruses, when a virus come inside, when the viral material come inside the cell, there is a sensor protein which gives the intimation to the gene. There is release of messenger RNA, and messenger RNA get attached to the ribosomes, and interferons are released. Those interferons activate B cells and T cells, and that means that immunity comes into the action. But what is supposed that what this virus is doing, it has some special power with it, that it inactivates this protein, this sensor protein. It inactivates it, or when this messenger RNA is not, this directly inactivates those messenger RNA. That is why the interferons are not formed. That is why the body immunity is unaware of this viral infection in the beginning. Now, if we see what is the strategy for the drug development for this SARS-CoV-2, if you see in this flow chart, there is a lot of mechanisms. I do not want to go each and every step of this, but it affects everything in the body. It has a different routes, different channels, different way of action. It is a quite smart virus. It is playing different tactics, and that is why there are a lot of molecules right now in the market, in the clinical trial phase, which are trying to focus on different mode of actions of this virus. That is why if everybody is aware that there are more than 300 to 400 trials going on. There are different drugs in the development phase. Some are claiming different mode of action, some are claiming different mode of action, because this virus is behaving differently. It has a different way of acting inside the body. maybe in coming webinars, we will try to cover this whole flow chart. Today, let us cover some part of it. What is the best way to have a new drug? What should a new drug do? The best way is inhibit this virus to get inside the cell. The best way for that is if we develop some drug which bind to the S protein, spike protein, or which acts on this protease enzyme so that this spike protein is not broken down. That is why it will not allow the virus to get bind with the ACE receptor. Second approach can be if we develop some drug which inhibits the virus replication, virus multiplication. For example, if we develop some drug which binds with this viral protein and inhibits viral protein formation, that means when it is inside the lung cell, there is no formation of other copies of the virus. Third way is if we develop something like that, which acts on the viral RNA polymerase so that that leads to formation of defective genome. When there is a defective genome, that means the viral viruses which are formed, that will be defective. That is one more approach which we can, where a lot of people are working on this approach also. One more approach is, that is very important, that is reduce the hyperimmune response of the body. That means what our body is doing whenever there is an infection, body overact. That is known as like one term nowadays you are coming across, that is cytokine storm. If we can develop some drug which inhibits this thing, that body immune system work passionately but not overact. Because of this overaction, there's a lot of damage to the lung tissues and leads to a lot of damage. And that is one reason for the mortality in this COVID-19 disease. And I think this is all from my side today. I'm sorry I can't elaborate more. In coming seminars, definitely we will try to have more detail. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing wonderful knowledge on this topic and listen. So, yeah, Mr. Pawan, can you conclude? Hello. Yeah, Mr. Pawan. Yeah, Mr. Pawan, am I audible to you?
Was I audible to the audience or I was on mute?
Audible.
I will check, sir. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Pawan. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Pawan, am I audible to you? Yeah. So, okay, I think there is some network problem with Dr. Pawan. So, yeah, that, yeah, Punik sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, Punik sir.
Yeah. Thank you, me sir, for very nice presentation. Yeah, I'm audible, Mary sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Neeraj sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, please drop in chat box. So we will try to cover.
So, attendee, yeah, dear audience, if you have any question, you can type your question in chat box. So, Dr. Me is available here to give you answer of your question. Hello.
Yeah, someone is typing.
Okay, I think there is some problem. I request Mr. Pawan, please rejoin. Dr. Pawan, please rejoin. So, so we are, so Deva, so there is some feedback which we received from the Dr. Devang Parikh. So I I am reading on his behalf. Excellent explanation. Recently, DCGI has given some emergency use of authorization. What would be the right approach to establish their efficacy and safety? Phase 3 or PMS? So so can you answer this question, Dr. Mir? Yeah, Dr. Mir, may I audible?
Ah,
There is some problem. Yes, Mir. Dr. Mir, please.
yeah, Neeraj, can you come again? What was the question?
Yeah, question is recently DCGI has given some emergency use authorization. What could be the right approach to establish their efficacy and safety? Question is related to phase 3 and PMS.
No, when you are doing the emergency use authorization as per the any authority is giving the that access, that patient is always under controlled condition. That is the part of the if you are giving, we are in that scenario, you have to keep record of everything. I am not well aware. I have not gone there that DCGI document what DCGI is saying, what DCGI regulation is saying for emergency use of any drug in India. I'm not aware of that. I need to go through that. But it is always whenever any authority issues emergency use authorization to any drug, they also issue the instructions how to use it, how to take care of the data and all that. I'm not gone through the document which have been issued by the DCJ office. I'm pretty much sure there will be the all the details mentioned over there, how to use it, what will be the conditions, in which conditions you have to use it. There will be some criteria defined in that document. I'm sorry, I have not gone through that document. Therefore, it will be not right from my end to comment on that.
Okay, thank you, sir. The second question is coming from the Kalyan Bajaj, sir. His question is, what is the current status of vaccine to be introduced in the market? So we are assuming some vaccines are coming and ready to launch in for the COVID.
As per the available information on the public domain, people are different, like Oxford University one, people are saying that it will be available as they have started manufacturing on mass level, and we are expecting that it will be available by end of this year. But I am not ready, but at this point to say anything will be not a good idea, because once all the data is in place, when that data is in place, when you will evaluate the data, then you can actually say when that vaccine will be available. Usually, if we see the normal process for development of vaccine is usually approximately around 10 years. But in this crisis situation, people, all the industry, all the governments are trying to work hard to squeeze it so that we can get the vaccine as soon as possible. Let us see how when it will come, but we have to remember that when the vaccine will come, we have to take keen watch on vaccine, because once we use that vaccine, we have to see how it will act. Like if you take the example of dengue vaccine has been withdrawn from the market. It is only in countries where it is, the condition is it will be only used in those who have already been infected with dengue vaccine in past, because of that vaccine, the antibody release, that is a different story. In the same fashion, we need to check with this when the COVID vaccine will be available. Once it is used in the mass population, then we will come to know what actually, how successful that vaccine is. Because in trial phase, many of the vaccines or many of the drugs are doing fantastic. But when we use those drugs in a mass public on a large population, then we come across those limitations which we miss during the development phase.
Thank you, sir. So we receive one appreciation from the Milan O'Brien. They are thanking the organizer of this webinar for inviting the pharma professionals and making everybody a part of this good initiative. Thank you, Milan O'Brien. Yeah. Over to Pawan. Pawan.
Yeah, sir. Sorry for inconvenience. Yeah, network issues was there. So, is there any questions in chat box? I'm unable to see chat box, sir.
Right now, there is only 2-3 questions are coming. Those are
Okay.
already answered by Dr. Mir.
Okay. So, dear all, we will back with new topics next time. So, still, if you have questions, then put it in chat box.
Okay. So session is open for the questions. So anyone have any question, please write your question in chat box. Okay. So I think there is no question left, and we are
We'll
coming to
conclude.
end of this
Okay, one question is there. Yeah.
Yeah, please. Yes, Pawan, please.
Yeah. One second. It's loading, sir. Unable to open chat box, but one question is, can you open chat box, sir?
Yeah, it's at my hand.
One question is there.
One question is be coming from the Ankush Pandey related to remdesivir got approval last week, and now the favipiravir. So it the cure COVID. So I think that his question is related to the recent approval given by DCGI is to the landmark for the remdesivir and the favipiravir. So Dr. Mir, what do you think? Is it approval for the treatment of
See,
the...
actually, if we talk of
Yes, please.
the remdesivir, and remdesivir is having now good data in place, and it is working good in some patients. But in these drugs, when you talk of these drugs, definitely it depends upon the patient. It varies from patient to patient. The disease, this COVID-19 disease, is a disease. Although, let me make one point clear over here, that in coming episodes, we will try to have one person who is from the clinical domain, who is dealing with the COVID patient, because he will be the right person to answer these questions. And let me make being from the clinical research background, I can make one thing, that in this COVID-19, what we are, as per the available literature, which is available on the public domain, this disease is behaving differently from person to person. That is why these drugs are working in some group of population. It is not working in some patients. Reason being, this disease is still developing. We are knowing day by day about this disease, what this disease is. This disease is not still fully understood by, because day by day we are getting new data, day by day we are understanding this disease. And these drugs, which are like, take an example of HCQ. HCQ was in use everywhere in the world. First of all, I think that was the first drug which was used for this. But with the passage of time, and we start getting the data for that, now most of the countries have withdrawn that drug for the management of the COVID-19. In the same fashion, all these new drugs, which are for the management of the COVID-19, they are working, but we are not saying, as of now, we don't have any clear-cut treatment for COVID-19. I'm not the right person to answer this question, but I will try in coming episodes of this. We will try to have one clinician with us so that he can do the justice with such type of questions.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question is coming from the end of Nidhi Bhardwaj. Very good question from her hand. She want to know, do you feel India is dealing with COVID-19 in a better way? So, what your...
Interesting question, sir.
See, this is not my area, and I'm sorry to answer this question. Anything related to the drug development, I will be happy to answer that. This is not my domain. If I comment on this, that will be injustice. We should always speak on our topic. This is not my topic. I think if any question is related to drug development, I will be happy to answer.
Yeah, next question is coming from the Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, that is related to the recent approval of Glenmark product. His question is, what could be the reason for 3-month shelf life of Glenmark product? Approval this Friday. Is it really correct? So I think Sir Rajesh ji in Delhi, the shelf life of Glenmark product is 3 months. Is it right, or there is some error related to the shelf life? Can you give some light on this question related to shelf life of Glenmark product?
What was the question? What is the question?
Actually, the question related to the shelf life of the Glenmark product. So, Mr. Rajesh want to know the shelf life of newly approved product is only 3 months. Is it right, or some typo error is there related to the shelf life? I think that this question
nobody can comment on that. I think
R&D. So this webinar or this
maybe they have a stability for these 3 months only. That is why they have kept it 3 months. I'm presuming. I don't know.
Okay, so that's why I said that this question will be answered by the R&D person or the representative of Glenmark with the clear picture on that. So right now it's 3 months. Maybe it's right. Second question is coming from the Syed Sardan. He is writing the FDA has given 2 guidelines to accelerate the COVID-19 treatment which help companies to get IND. Can you give your comment on this? So
Sorry,
my question.
FDA has given 2 guidelines to accelerate COVID-19 treatment, which helps companies to get IND. Can you give your comments on this? Sorry, Baba, what actually he wants from my end?
Okay, on the previous question, when we talking about the shelf life of Glenmark product, one of our audience, Dr. Sushant, give light on that. That is depend on the stability data they have submitted to DCGI. On the stability data, right now DCGI give them 3-month shelf life. Thank you, Sushantji. So any other question from the audience? So I think there is no question from the audience, and we are coming to the end of this webinar. So in the closing remark, I forward to the
Hold, sir. One question is there.
coming from Pooja.
Pooja Garg wants to know, so dexamethasone is using in COVID-19 patients. Is it really effective? Can you put some lights on this? Yeah, Mir sir.
Her question is related to dexamethasone.
Again, see, actually for dexamethasone, the study done in the UK, it is showing the good promising results in those patients who have moderate or severe illness of COVID-19, but they have made one point clear that it does not help in mild cases. Nobody should use this in mild cases. I'm just referring the literature. I'm not the clinician to answer this, but as per the available study, which on the basis of which everybody has appreciated the result of that study, it is working good in moderate and severe cases, but they have clear cut mentioned it, don't use in mild cases. That is why my request to everybody is don't use dexamethasone if you feel that I have a COVID or something like that. It will do the reverse. They are saying that it will decrease your, because being a steroid, it can impair your immunity of the body, and that may be the one reason. That is why any drug which is for the COVID, always consult COVID expert, go to the flu clinic. There is a separate COVID team in every hospital. Approach those and then start the treatment. Otherwise, there is no benefit of going through the literature and using the drug. I'm completely against that. Will placebo control arm in COVID trial be true indicator of the efficacy, just safety of the drug, as India already has 50% recovery rate? No, in case of those, if you are talking of the placebo trial, because in COVID trials, we are going with the placebo arm, but there is always standard of care, because right now we don't have the clear cut treatment for this. That is why if you want to go for any trial, you can go with the placebo arm, but in placebo arm, there will be the standard of care. You can't skip standard of care. You can do one thing. For example, you have developed drug A, and you want to compare it with the placebo. In drug A, there will be the standard of care plus drug A. In placebo arm, there will be placebo plus standard of care. So that you will see what difference your drug is making in the patients, where in addition to the standard of care, your drug was given. That is the one way to go for the trial.
Thank you, sir. So there is lots of question in the pipeline. So by keeping the timelines, we are taking the closing remark. Dr. Pawan?
Yeah.
Yeah, please over to
So,
you.
okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Dr. Me, for a very good presentation. Thank you all participants. Uh, uh, Dr. Sangamesh Puranik, President, Kalan sir, for being with us. Thank you all participants for joining. So definitely we will be back again soon with a new topic. Thank you for joining, Dr. Neeraj.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah,
thank you, everyone. So,
thank you.
uh, as
One more.
mentioned in the starting, we are be audio video recorded this e-webinar, and this will be
Yes.
available on the YouTube channel of ARAP as well as the IPA Daily branch. So you can listen the recording and view the proceeding of today's webinar on our YouTube channel, and this video will be uploaded in within 2 to 3 days in respective YouTube channels. Thank you to all every participant. Here I am coming to the closer session. So here I invite our president from the ARAP and IPA Delhi branch to give us some closing remarks so that we end the today's webinar. So welcome to the Punnik sir.
Hello. Yeah.
So please unmute.
Please.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you very much to all the participants, Dr. Mir, for the excellent presentation, and IPA President for collaborating with us. And I thank everyone. And in the next session, we will come up with new developments in India. What are the developments from in all the commerce sectors, as well as one more session we want to like, what is the impact of this COVID-19 on Indian economy, including the food sector and pharma sector. We are planning a series of webinar sessions now. Every Sunday, we are planning to have this session. That is our agenda. So we welcome all the speakers. If any speakers are available who are interested, we want to know their titles and interest. So based on that, we will arrange all these things. And thank you once again to everyone who has participated and made us our first session successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Punnik sir. So here I request Kalyan sir to give us some closing remarks. Kalyan sir.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Puranik, Dr. Puranik ji, Dr. Mir, uh, to all the participants who have in this webinar for the nearly for 1 hour. We had this webinar, and Dr. Neeraj, Dr. Pawan for their support. It was a good knowledge opening this our this webinar, and I hope we will have more such good webinars in from the next weekly this seminars, so that we will have good knowledge about this COVID-19. And on behalf of IPA Delhi branch, I thank all of you for participating in this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Pawan, over to you.
Yeah, we'll close, sir. Yeah, thank you so much, all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. With this,
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
have a week. So we are ending today's webinar. Thank you, everyone, and hope that we will be come again with a very interesting topic that will be announced very soon. So by this, I end the meeting. Thank you, everyone.